Welcome. We're here today with Director Douglas Wyatt of the Center for Nutritional Research. And our subject today is anti-aging. There's many facets to anti-aging, and we're very pleased to be able to have this opportunity to talk about some of them. Director Wyatt, would you please start by defining what is aging?
Aging, in essence, has been defined in a bunch of ways. Let me define aging from the way I look at it as a medical researcher. It's when our body's immune functions don't perform as well. We pick up various stages of chronic disease. Diabetes type 2 creeps around the corner. We put on a lot of belly fat. We find it harder to keep lean muscle. We find it harder to go out and participate in sporting events. Our brain isn't quite as sharp. Our memory doesn't pick up everything. We wonder where we left the keys. Obviously, most of us would really like to do something about this. We've been told that aging, we can do this gracefully, etc. But I don't believe in that. I want to go kicking and screaming, and I want to go into that night looking for ways to delay it, to be younger. For my age, I want to have the vitality that my joints work, that my muscles are stronger, that I'm not carrying as much fat around the middle, that my vision doesn't deteriorate, my hearing doesn't go to pot, and that the wrinkles aren't as evident and pronounced, and that I don't end up with a chronic disease, an autoimmune disease, and my joints don't give me hell. So in other words, if this aging thing, okay, we're supposed to go gracefully into it, to heck with it. I don't want the aches and the pains. I don't want these processes, and yes, we have some answers, and probably some answers that are going to really be quite of interest to you. So hang on and stay with us, and we're going to get into what colostrum in specific has to do with an anti-aging process. And I'd like to open with a very short statement from Barbara Minton, and this came from Natural News. Colostrum has been called the promise of life. It's our first food, which all immune and growth factors that ensure health and vitality are transferred from the mother to the newborn. Research has shown that colostrum is the one supplement that can bring to everyone that uses it, largely because of its ability to perform many of the functions of growth hormone, human growth hormone, in the body. Scientists believe now that colostrum may be the most important preventative that can be consumed by a mammal. The value of colostrum has been documented in clinical observations and is supported by a huge database. A team of scientists in London has now found that colostrum can prevent the death of human neurons and effectively treat Alzheimer's patients. And while this was going on, other research teams have documented that colostrum knocks out intestinal inflammation, leaky gut syndrome, that is the primary cause of all chronic disease. Colostrum has the ability to help us eliminate inflammation, to slow the aging process, to supplement us with the real growth hormones that produce and slow the aging process.
What makes colostrum superior to manufactured HGH, human growth hormone?
Well, colostrum contains about 280 different components. Contains virtually all of the immune factors and growth factors that were necessary to stimulate life and natural growth in all mammals, including humans. Now, this is so important that at the first stage of our life, if we don't get colostrum, we end up with a lifetime of chronic disease issues. And other mammals, if they don't get colostrum, simply die. When we're born, we have holes in our gut and our stomach on purpose to allow colostrum to enter our body, to transmit immunity, and to actually download all of the immune function in the body. The growth factors in colostrum that stimulate the infant to regenerate and repair tissue and to grow its muscle, bone, and nerve, and all of the tissue in the body does the same thing for us, whether we're 80 years of age or if we're a few hours old. Now, the key to colostrum is this. We can go down to the doctor and get human growth hormone injections, and they're massively expensive, and they run a series of very significant risks. This is the point, is that colostrum is not an isolated, recombinant, manufactured growth hormone. Colostrum contains bioidentical growth hormones, and not just human growth hormone. It contains IGF-1, IGF-2, transforming growth factors, and all of the growth factors that when combined provide a means to provide the all of the significant benefits that growth hormone can provide, but do it safely and without the risks of cancer, without the risks of diabetes, without the risks of having glucose intolerance, without the risks, in fact, of joint pain. In fact, colostrum's growth factors and other factors heal and prevent joint damage and reduce inflammatory response in the body to help eliminate pain.
Can you tell us what polymers are and what role they play in aging?
You know, recently we've discovered that telomeres are at the end of our RNA and DNA strands, the double helix that creates and is part of the cellular nucleus of every cell in our body. Telomeres are at the very end of each end of the DNA strands. And every time that the DNA reproduces, and when does it reproduce? Every time the cell gets damaged and we need to create a new cell, something as simple as a cut in your finger, we need to repair the cells. Repairing the cells means we have to create new ones to fill in where the damaged ones were. Every time the cells reproduce, and in your body, every cell in your body reproduces your whole body is reproduced every 7 years. It requires the growth factors, bioidentical growth factors, and telomerase that are in colostrum in order to make sure that that cellular reproduction is perfect and not damaged. When we reproduce our cells in our bodies, the telomeres break off one at a time, every time the cell's reproduced, so that they get shorter and shorter. And when you get down to the end and you have no more telomeres left, the cell can't reproduce. So if we can stop the breakoff or the shortening of the DNA with telomerase, that is possible. It's an enzyme that helps so that when our cells reproduce, the telomeres don't break off one at a time. And the only natural source of telomerase that we know of is in colostrum.
As director for the Center for Nutritional Research, what have you found that will help guarantee that the colostrum I purchase will contain the growth factors and growth hormones I expect?
Colostrum has to be tested for all of the major components. It has to be tested for the amount of growth factors that are in it. And it has to be on the label. And it has to be certified with a GMP certification in order for it to have validity to you as a consumer. And colostrum should have a liposomal delivery system associated with it because raw, fresh colostrum comes out of the mammary cell in the breast, surrounded by the cell membrane. If you look at the cell as a balloon, a bubble in the mammary cell in the breast, colostrum is poked out of it and pops off. And that colostrum is surrounded by the actual membrane of the cell. And that membrane of the cell is there on purpose. It's to protect the colostrum and deliver its nutrients into the bloodstream of the infant and into the bloodstream of us as adults. And when you process colostrum, that bubble, that liposomal protection is fractured. And so this is the primary reason that virtually every colostrum we tried from other manufacturers didn't work. We're digesting it. I want you to think about this. When you're an infant and you're first born, you don't produce stomach acids and digestive enzymes. That starts when milk comes in. Milk isn't produced the minute you're born. Colostrum is there for days coming in. Milk starts coming in 72 hours after you're born. Colostrum has to heal the GI tract to stop milk from crossing into the bloodstream. Colostrum's growth factors do that. But the liposomal delivery process is there to ensure that this takes place throughout the whole body and not just on the surface of the gastrointestinal tract. So colostrum must have all of the components, must be tested for percentage and bioactivity, and must have the liposomal delivery that nature intended on those molecules of colostrum in order for you especially, and I, especially as adult humans, to benefit significantly from all of those factors. Colostrum is the most powerful anti-aging component and substances on the planet. It has the capability of delivering all of the growth factors that are bioidentical. Human growth hormone, IGF-1, that balances insulin, reduces the needs for insulin, helps prevent diabetes, helps their body by stimulating muscle repair and retention, by ingesting and utilizing stored fat in the body. Colostrum's transforming growth factors stimulate the body to kill and destroy cancer cells in the body to prevent cancer. Boy, that's an anti-aging benefit, if I can think of one. To keep our endothelial growth factors, to keep our veins and our arteries supple so that we don't have blood pressure and heart issues, to reduce inflammation in our body associated with what? With stress, with other factors, to heal and prevent leaky gut syndrome, which is the primary cause of chronic disease. Boy, if we're sick, we're not aging. We're dying quicker. And so we want to stay healthy. We want to retain our mobility. We want to reduce the fat we're carrying around. It's not healthy. We want to stimulate and help our mental acuity. I can't think of another thing in the world that provides these range of benefits and has as many bioactives, 280 plus components that help us fight disease of all types, help us delay that process of aging, help us keep our strength. You know, you walk in and you look at the mirror at the end of the day and you see the wrinkles and the crow's feet sneaking up on us, and we don't want these things to happen. And we go down and we shoot our face with Botox, etc. It does nothing except keep our face from scrunching up so we can't see the wrinkles. It does nothing from an anti-aging standpoint. Nothing. Colostrum contains epidermal and epithelial skin growth hormones. It contains the nutrients that feed the skin from the inside and out. By putting colostrum in your body, you open the capillaries and provide nutrients to your skin, the skin in your face and your whole body that you can't get any other place. Colostrum's growth factors stimulate the growth and retention of probiotics. Probiotics cannot colonize without colostrum. Colostrum can be used externally on our body to have a wonderful experience. Take some colostrum and put some water, but make a real thin face mask. Go sit in a tub and light a candle and spread the colostrum on your face and let it dry naturally over 15 to 20 minutes. Wash it off with cool water. You want to have an anti-aging experience. That'll wake you up because it'll make your skin feel like you're 20 years younger immediately. Take the colostrum powder and put a very, very small amount into your night cream and apply it to your night cream and leave it on your face when you go to sleep. Take a dose of colostrum, at least a tablespoon, in water an hour before you go to bed on an empty stomach. The growth factors in colostrum work while you're asleep. That's the optimum time for the growth factors to do their work in your body. So for the magic and the miracles of life, there's nothing like it. Scientists have agreed through thousands and thousands of clinical studies. Colostrum belongs in your life. It's a nutritional imperative.
One last question, Director. There have been 2 Nobel Prizes for medicine for components in colostrum. How do they relate to anti-aging?
And you know, that's a really good question. The first of these are the effects of growth hormone. And we've talked a great deal in this interview about growth hormone and what it does for our body, keeping our muscles strong and our joints healthy and inflammation down, keeping our bowel healthy, keeping our skin healthy, helping us reduce wrinkles, all of those wonderful things. Now let's talk about something else. The key to health and longevity. A Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded in 1999 for a series of nutrients that are critical and essential. The lack of these nutrients in today's food sources is unquestionably documented. Researchers who study these cellular communication nutrients have found them to be the most important discovery in the history of medicine. These are not our words, these are the words of the Nobel Prize. And they are the key to prevention and reversal of chronic disease and a long, healthy life. All health, or the lack of it, begins at the cellular level. These nutrients are directly responsible for the production of stem cells. And when they measure the before and after stem cell counts in the blood, virtually none are detected prior. Within a week of consuming, trillions of stem cells can be found. In other words, the consumption of these nutrients, where none were found in our blood supply, we can find trillions of stem cells in our blood supply after the consumption of these nutrients. No other nutrients, natural or artificial, have been clinically proven to stimulate the production of stem cells. So why wait years for a possible breakthrough in harvesting stem cells when these incredible nutrients work much better and are available today as a natural food? These nutrients are the only ones that do not convert to other substances when consumed. Instead, they go directly to the protein surface of each and every cell in our bodies to form a complex system for cellular communication, the operating system of our body. As our cells touch each other, they communicate over codes telling what just they need to thrive and be healthy. Without these cellular surface molecules, our body's operating system breaks down. Hormones are misdirected. Cells don't receive the vitamins, minerals, and other essential nutrients they need, and this results in chronic disease. The body then becomes confused. Cellular signal disruption occurs, and our immune system attacks healthy cells, resulting in autoimmune diseases such as arthritis, lupus, MS, asthma, etc., diabetes, while bad cells like cancer and virally infected cells are left to grow and multiply because killer cells are confused and can't destroy them. Okay, let's sum this up. Cellular communication with these nutrients is restored. Nutrient delivery restored. Healthy cellular reproduction and elimination of diseased cells restored. The production of stem cells to repair and replace aging and damaged cells fully activated. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's sufferers make remarkable recoveries. Diabetics produce insulin again. And transplant patients no longer need anti-rejection drug. Aging processes are not only slowed down but reversed. This is what the Nobel Prize was given for. Now let's check the sources of these marvelous claims. The 1999 Nobel Prize in Medicine. That's a pretty good resource. MIT's Technological Review declares the study and application of these vital nutrients to be one of the 10 emerging technologies that will change the world. Emil Mandoa, MD, said even tiny amounts, or the lack of them, have a profound effect. In test after test conducted at leading institutions around the world, these nutrients have been shown to lower cholesterol, decrease body fat, accelerate wound healing, ease allergy symptoms, and allay autoimmune disease. Bacterial infections, including recurrent ear infections in toddlers, often respond remarkably, as do most viruses from herpes to HIV. The debilitating symptoms of chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia frequently abate. And for cancer patients, the mitigation of the toxic effects of radiation and chemotherapy, while increasing their natural killer cell effects, resulting in prolonged survival and improved quality of life. With proper cellular communication and the ability of abundant stem cells in your body, the body has the ability to reverse any health condition. Rita Ekins, a master in health, said that these nutrients are not abnormal, not herbal. They're not herbal. They're not created in a lab. They are normally created in your body if we receive the proper nutrition. But this is impossible in modern society. The fact that they are missing is the reason for the vast increase in chronic illness of all varieties. Scientific American talked about cellular surface communications and cancer cells tumor growth, called these nutrients the sweet medicine of the future. Science magazine, the premier journal for researchers and scientists, dedicated 42 pages of detailed research to this huge emerging field they call glycobiology. Newsweek magazine ran a cover story explaining how these better-than-vitamins nutrients kill and necrose cancer in the human cell. Now for the astounding fact, where do all 8 of these vital nutrients come from? When do we first receive them? Why do breastfed babies thrive, grow new cells, and develop resounding and resilient bodies? The answer is that there's only one natural source for all of these, a source designed by nature to be our direct provider of all of these wondrous healing substances. And it is, of course, you've already guessed it, mother's milk, colostrum, the first food of our life.